What's up, YouTube? This video today is about health and what health should look like. People's image of health, their idea of health. Of course, you ask me, health is wealth. So they come one and the same, really. If you want to keep it real. Really, people have no clue what health is and how it should look or what it should be like. You ask most people, like, you say, you can live, well, I know, we can live hundreds of years, but people want to die at 70. People want to die in general, but people want to die, 70s, 80s, because you ask them, you'd be like, don't you want to live as long as possible? And then they say things that are along the lines of, why would I want to live that long, why, wearing a diaper or whatever. It's because subconsciously, at the subconscious level, they know that they're destroying themselves. And they know they don't want to stick around and see the end of that. But, they choose to put themselves in that situation where they'll deteriorate like that. Then they call deterioration aging. And then, they mix the two up, Really, there really is no concept of time. It really is just now. The only time you can live is now. Now is the only time. You are a sum of all the now moments in your life. All the now has got you now. They got you to where you're at now. So today I was just going to do a little bio piece about myself a little bit, and then I was just going to talk about a few things and then get into that. And really, like I was saying, most people, they wish death upon themselves. They don't want. If you don't want to live as long as possible, you want to die. So you got to understand what you're putting in your body is making you think that or feel that way. Or feeling in your body is what you're linking this thought to. Basically, to keep that, for the people that might be on a different level with it, because that's really all a thought is a feeling in the body, and then you link a thought to it. You link these words to it that that were conditioned upon you, and the words always fall short of describing the feeling, because they're secondary to the feeling. And then you just get conditioned to, feeling that. Like in the case of the stomach shrinking and you detoxifying. Like with most people, they feel like, oh, those growling, they're growling in my stomach, I'm hungry. They've linked that thought to that feeling in the body. When really that's the body detoxing and the stomach shrinking back to normal size, the size of the fist, which is all you should be eating at one time. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's the case. I mean, that's as far as physical foods go. Because again, light energy, wind energy, the moisture in the air, all that, prana, whatever. You could take that in and all day, all night. You already do. You breathe, so you're taking that in. But as far as physical foods go, this is the size of your stomach, whatever your fist is, what have you. So people have attached that feeling of the stomach shrinking and the body detoxifying, that growling, as hunger. And what the mind does, the body will follow. Basically, you'll link that thought to that, then you'll feel this hunger. Really what the hunger is in most cases is emotional. It's usually an emotional dissatisfaction or shortcoming, and then you basically patch over it with the food. Like, if you need, that's why people say comfort foods. If you want love and affection, most people go for sweet, soft foods. That's why people, when they break up or girls go through it, they say they get the ice cream and all that. It's because it's soft and sweet. And bready foods, they soothe the dissatisfaction. Like I said, all food, crunchy foods, salty foods for frustration. So really, in most cases, you're emotionally lacking, not physically hungry. You're emotionally hungry. So then you go fill that void with a physical food, which is, incorrect. It's a violation. It's not what you should be doing. You should be finding the root cause of that feeling and, basically nourishing yourself in that, circumstance. Like, you feel like you need love. Why are you void of love? Why are you absent of love? Why don't you love yourself instead of going and get something soft and sweet like you would, because that's what you related love to in most cases. Like I said, you get sweet, soft things for your birthday, if you do good in school, all that. You know, Valentine's Day, it's sweet, soft things. So, most cases, it's an emotional hunger, and like with flatulence, farting, burping, they're not really natural occurrences. They're not supposed to be happening. Farting, flatulence, that comes from a blocked colon. If your colon is blocked, which is an alarm, all symptoms of everything, all, you know, if you're scratching somewhere, you know, if you have an itch somewhere in your body, everything is related to, you know, a different part of the body. It's all expressing. Again, you fold the body up in the fetal position, you can see how everything is connected. Like say if your forearm is scratching, or, you know, elbow or ankle, you know, you can relate the ankle to the testicles. There might be something going on, like, or the ovaries. The same, you know, reverse it with the female male. So that's like, you know, the same thing, you know, with any scratch or symptom. So with flatulence, it's an alarm. You're farting. Why is your colon blocked? You know, you gotta understand that this is not a natural occurrence. It's not something that's supposed to be a good thing, or it already isn't considered a good thing, but, you know, people make fun of it. It is, I guess it is funny, but it's not a good thing, you know, for the body to be, you know, having that indigestion or having that blockage. Because that's really only a few things can happen to the body. Blockage, overheating, you know, short circuit. Really only like a couple things. It's really about it. You know, it's pretty much the same with all machinery, because everything is designed after the body. And you know, like I'm gonna just get into my my little bio. You know, how I got into vegetarianism. Who was the first one to approach me? The first vegetarian that I ran into, again, well, I'm from New Jersey. You know, that's where I was born and raised, in New Jersey. And the first vegetarian I ran into was my brother, a good friend of my brother's, probably my brother's best friend, Trinidadian guy from Brooklyn. He, you know, I known him probably since I was like 4 or 5 years old. You know, of course, you know, he's dreaded out. All his boys was dreaded out. My brother wasn't, but he was. And he's vegetarian. You know, he was on that soy and everything, but it was still, you know, vegetarian. No deadas, no dead meat, no dead flesh, none of that. So it's still better than nothing. But that was my first contact with a vegetarian, and I saw that they were, you know, the vegetarians, him and his community, they were more active at the time. You know, of course, now he's relapsed. He's not vegetarian anymore. But, you know, that's because he didn't take it as far as he could have, if you ask me. But, you know, they were more active when they were vegetarian. Way better shape than he is in now. It's pudgy now. But, you know, basically, that was my first intro to vegetarian. So the thought was there that you could do that and you'd be fine. From a young age with me, that you could be that, you know, and be fine. Because I was raised around a lot of Trinidadians and, you know, Jamaican, West Indies people. So the thought of vegetarianism really isn't foreign at all to them. So how I got into vegetarianism though, well, I just knew from a young age everything was wrong. I just knew that everything was incorrect. Like, I don't know, it was just innately, it's something inside me. School it was all stupid to me. It all felt dumb. It all felt like it was just ass backwards. Like, why would we be doing this if we're all human? Why is hunger and poverty, war? Why does this all exist? It makes no sense to me. There's no clear-cut answers. Everybody just, you know, beats around the bush with everything. So I knew the whole society was flawed from an early age. And I suspect that most young children know this. You know, it's just that, you know, we condition it out of them. You know, they're really, really intuitive, and they don't need to be told that much. You know, it's your reality. You know, it's how you treat the kid, how much freedom you give it, and all that. That's all you as a parent. But, you know, if you listen to the kid, you can see that they know a lot. They've always been here. Again, you know, time is all perception. Whether they were, you know, whether the energy was something else, you know, you two, you and your child and you and your mom, you always were together in some form or fashion, some form of energy. You cross paths or something in that nature. You know everybody that you're meeting. You know, you get to know where you're going. You gotta know where you've been, and really, that's, you know, that's kind of how this life is. You know, you just gotta know yourself, and you really just listen to the self. You know, and I just listened to myself when I was younger a lot more. I had a feeling I'd be doing a lot of what I'm doing now. You know, just listen to my intuition then. You know, I got away from it for years there. But then, like, when my body started to slow down and, like, you know, I just started to feel the damages, that I was, doing to it. Around my senior year of high school, I I had transferred high schools, and the one I was at they were already totally in that retarded culture. The one I went into wasn't much different, but it was a little more freedom as a person. So, at that point, I was transitioning into mainly just cheese and eggs. I wasn't, I was vegetarian basically. Wasn't, eating any meat. I cut beef out completely. Every now and again, you would get me with some chicken, but just cheese and eggs really was the only thing really pulling on me. And, I was really addicted to dairy, I would say. And then I moved to California, and I couldn't. The heat just made it so that I could not deal with dairy anymore. I mean, I'd eat cheese, but I had to give up drinking milk. And I saw 2 days after drinking milk that my lungs just felt 1,000 times better when I would work out. And then, really from there, I started to go back and research and say, hey man, maybe this vegetarian thing is the way to go. And I ran into a strength coach from College of the Canyons who was a vegetarian. He wrote a bunch of books. He was on that soy-based diet, and that's what I transitioned to. I ended up transitioning to the soy, and it was difficult for me to stay on it. I was, constantly on and off, relapsing every now and again. I would have a burger or something, just because I would be good for months and then get thrown off the wagon. But at the time, I didn't realize because the soy was robbing me. The soy was breaking my energy and robbing me, and really, the starch and all that, that was all breaking my energy and making it more difficult to stay on the path of plant-based. So when I got away from the soy more and more, and the starch, it really started to clear up, and I really started to see more. And then I really started to, because honestly, I had got sick. I was vegetarian for months. Then I had, relapsed, got sick. And then I was like, it's no way that I can go back to that lifestyle. And at one point I had contracted MRSA. I got MRSA at one point, or I had a boil, and they said it was staph infection. And I just really would refuse to do, to go about things the unnatural way after knowing about Sebi and Dr. Africa and Jewel Pookrum. And this is when I was like 18 now at that time, 22 now. So or 18 going on 19, something like that. So I had MRSA, or I had the staph boil, and I had got sick off after I relapsed. So then basically I realized, a lot of these, any sickness just comes from, number one, your thoughts, and number two, what you put in your body. And your thoughts are chemicals, so you're putting those in your body too, and embedding those thoughts in your cells. So it's all really what you put in the body, so or expose it to. So really, when I had basically got sick, the MRSA thing and all that, I fasted for 10 days because my body just really wouldn't take anything down. I was throwing everything up but water, and so I just fasted for 10 days, nothing but water. And I really felt amazing. I didn't even want to break the fast. So after that, I knew it was just no way. There was no way I was going to go back. And I just knew. So from there, I went raw vegan right out the gate, and that might have been a bad choice. I probably should have just stayed fasting, but I went raw vegan. I went a similar diet to like a 30 bananas a day type diet, and it was okay. It just really. It just was too much food. I had to create a structure in my diet to where I was detoxing at a certain time and taking in things at a certain time, so I could get into a good circadian rhythm, not just eating all the time. Create a rhythm for the body, because the body is rhythmatic, and music is a food. So anyway, I went from that. Went from the transition into the 30 bananas a day type diet. Then I really started to see my options as a vegan, and then I started trying to cook foods, the different cooked vegan foods, because I was kind of blind into what I was doing. So I went into the different cooked foods to taste it and get my family more incorporated with it, because they were not having it, just eating raw fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds. They were not going to switch. You know, especially my mom's side. Again, it's the slave. It's all slave food, but they came. You know, that side is from West African people that were removed from their homes. So they are definitely what you would consider a descendant of a slave. So even though I feel like everybody is at this point, we're all acting like slaves. But you know, they were really addicted to the slave food. So it was I really got into the cooked foods to kind of incorporate them, to bring them into it. So my mom could get into it. You know, she could cook some of the food for herself, and a lot of the reason I knew a lot of the things were wrong because my grandma died, you know, in her 70s, in her young 70s, and I just, you know, I knew it was from the food. I knew it was from what they were putting in their body. I knew my uncle was an alcoholic. I had crack fiends in the family. I knew everything. All our ills came from what we were putting in our body, and what, you know, basically the society around us, but mainly from what we're putting in our body. Like, and why are we so sick? Why is society so sick? Why do we see things this way? And you know, I realized, you know, acid food, acid thoughts. You know, starch food, starch thoughts, and you're just not going to think natural. Unnatural foods just elicit unnatural responses. So once I got away from that, you know, and I was really trying to heal my family and stand on my own too, and be a living testament of health. They really saw that I wasn't going to budge, and then we got into the cooked food so we could all eat vegan. And you know, they still eat meat from time to time, but it's better than they were. My mom lost like 30 pounds just cutting dairy out and sugar out and just not eating meat every day. And I just got better every day, really. I just got better every single day. Since I you know, got away from, you know, blood and starch and the thoughts that come from blood and starch, because those are deeply embedded. You got to really cleanse that out. You know, you got to really cleanse each cell, deep tissue cleansing. And you know, you know, of course, if you looked at my other videos, you can see that I, you know, had a habit with cannabis, and I used to smoke it heavily. I used to smoke it all the time, and now, you know, I don't smoke it at all anymore. I was eating it for a while there, but then I got into raw foods, and I was eating it baked, so I had to you know, give it up that way. So now every now and again I would vape it or drink it in a tea, you know, for, you know, certain circumstances, let it be New Year's or whatever. You know, God made it, you know, I made it, basically the same thing. God is you. So, you know, it's a product of life, of nature. Everything is really a wave of energy. So, you know, cannabis, like any other plant or fruit or vegetable, whatever, is a form of light. It's a concentration of light, a being of light. You are a dense amount of light. And like I said, energy equals matter. Everything matters because it all is matter. But, you know, just because you can't see it, a lot of people won't call it matter. So, you know, it is light. So it really, you know, with that being said, and you understanding that fruits and vegetables and all these things, and you are a being of light, you realize you can absorb this light in different forms, in different densities, and take it in as nourishment. Music is a form of light that you take in as nourishment that's not dense. Air, all these things, you know, sunlight, you're taking these things in, they're just less dense forms of light. You know, and food is medicine. Again, you shouldn't need physical food unless you're physically ill. You know, really, if you want to keep it real. So, knowing that much, you just really just, you know, you can kind of put it together that, you know, you just want to keep the vessel that is the body, this wave of energy here, that's encased in the skin, which really isn't even encased because everything's in constant motion. Really, you just want to keep the energy free flowing from top to bottom. And you know, when you block it, like I said, the only three things, you know, really stop the body: short circuit, overheating, and blockage. When you block that energy, you throw that energy off. You throw the thoughts off. You throw the circadian rhythm off. All that. So you can stick to a fistful, of, you know, at a time. You know, you won't be blocking that energy. And shouldn't be eating every day because, again, I said food is medicine. All doctors take the Hippocratic Oath. Hippocrates said food is medicine, medicine is food. So you can go argue with any doctor. They've already made the oath that food is medicine. They've already submitted to that. They know that. You know, medicine is pharma is a business. You know, AIDS is a business. People need to understand that. It's not a disease. You know, They put these things out here in your mind so you can begin to manifest disease in your mind, that it's everywhere, that you're breathing it in, that you're constantly, you got it around you, everybody else got it. So, you will make that physically manifest in your life just from thinking it. I know that's past a lot of people. But back to what I was saying about cannabis and how everything is a wave of light. And, I would say anybody, struggling with cannabis or smoking in general, put down the smokes, man. At least 4 or 5 hours before you go to bed. Just stop smoking at least 4 or 5 hours before you go to bed. And just vape. Go to the vaporizer. It's way cheaper. You won't be buying blunts or papers or any of that. Just get a vaporizer. It's like $40 for a cheap vape. Or just bake it, or put it in tea. I know people want that instant now high, so go with the vaporizer if you want that. But you'll see once you get away from the addicting chemicals and the carcinogens that come from burning it, that you don't need it, and that you choose to use cannabis for enlightenment when you want to, just like you choose to indulge in a fig or a date when you want to, but you don't need that. You don't need it. That's the thing. You need to break down the paradigm of necessity. And like, I know a lot of people don't want to hear anything about breatharianism, but it's very possible. Anybody can do it. You just, or you could just supplement your diet with, conscious breathing. You'd be surprised. That's why people do yoga. That's why people do Tai Chi and all that, because it, raises your energy level. Like working out raises your energy level. So, if you do those things, you'll realize that you can supplement the diet and shift the energy grid. I guess even I know people are oblivious to it, but there is an energy grid out here in the atmosphere that you're a part of. So just I would say research breatharianism. I know you're gonna just get a lot of negative things, just like you would get negative things if you look at the Wikipedia page for veganism or raw veganism. They're gonna tell you that you can't be raw, just like they're gonna tell you that you can't be breatharian. They're going to tell you things, and it's up to you to let yourself be told that, and are you going to search for the negative, or are you going to search for the positive? Or are you going to just be indifferent, like I always have been? And that's really what's helped me, my indifference. Just really just taking it all in and making my own intuitive decision. So that's why I say listen to self. So now at this point, right now I'm just getting this paper, man. Really just, just maintaining, getting this bread, man, and society really ain't that as sick as it used to look to me, because I'm not as sick as I was. I'm not sick. So, everything is as it should be. And politics are there to distract you. Everything is really there to distract you. Even, sports, huge distraction. Even though I partake, it's tough for me to every day to even deal with game, to even deal with blood sacrifice, such as game, which is football or any sport. They're all game, they're all blood sacrifice. So it's difficult for me to wake up and even label myself as an athlete, or even want to do it, even though I have European offers on the table. The CFL has contacted me. The USFL is starting back up this spring. They've contacted me. I have a few connections where I could get workouts with NFL teams, but I just don't know anymore. I just don't know if that's really what I want to do. I just got to listen to myself, I guess. But I just know it will help me reach more people. And that's really what I'm about more so I can change my environment, change my reality. Because, the more people I reach, it's like reaching myself more, basically. If you can understand that. And I know you can at some level. So, really, that's about it, man. I just really want to, I really just keep getting this paper, man. Stay healthy, because health is wealth, and stay away from the distractions. And as far as football, my career with sports go, I don't know. I lost a lot of enjoyment when I saw, what the culture was at a higher level. Once I got, to the D1 level, it just was like not fun anymore. You really owned, and I really just always hated that sense of being owned. And I kind of just did it to show everybody that I could do it. And it wasn't very difficult to do, honestly. A couple years, and I did it. Really, 1 year of high school football, 1 year of JC football, and I got D1 scholarship. 7 offers. But, and then it just got to that point where it was like, what am I doing this for? I mean so much more to the world as I feel. But you know, I'm gonna get in and out of it. You know, wiggle my way in and out of this society how I can, and maneuver the best way possible. So you know, the verdict is still out on it. You know, I might still use the tool of game to enlighten more people. But yeah, man, you'd be surprised, man. There's gonna be more and more vegans and more vegetarians every day you turn around, and more athletes that are that. So that's really about it, man. I'm on this Ramadan fast right now, so I'm just drinking water and coconut water when I wake up at 4 in the morning, and then I don't eat or drink. Same thing. I don't drink anything until around 8. So, but I've never felt better. It's kind of crazy. You know, really let me know how little you need these things. You know, and how there is other mediums for getting moisture. You can breathe it in. You know, your body will automatically take it in through the cells. Will take in a couple pints of liquid a day. And you know, if you get better at your meditation, you can call on those substances that you need for the body, because the body will produce anything it needs, man. I mean, you can go about it with crutches, and you know, try to get it in other forms, but you know, you don't. The body doesn't need anything but itself, but you. So yeah, figure I'll show you some red clover right here. Got this red clover, and it's a long video. I had no idea. I got some blue cheese right there for you. And some sour purple OG over there. And some grape ape and some more blue cheese and some purple Urkel right there. You know, there's a few clones and some seedlings. Really, you know, not much. Hope you enjoyed my little bio today. And love y'all, you know. Hit me up, you know what I mean? Just going through this journey, this now moment that we're all in forever, timelessly. All right, love y'all again.